Cody, let's start with we're going to start with playoff games, but we're going to specifically talk about the Raiders and Bengals because this episode is going to be coming out on Saturday. We're recording this literally on Friday, and at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. So if you're listening to this today, the Raiders are going to be playing the Bengals. So this is going to be an interesting game. No one thought the Raiders were going to be in it. They ended up in it
Yeah.
After everything that they had went through, and we're not going to go over it again because you probably heard it a million times, not only from us but from everyone else. But yeah, the Raiders are no one saw them coming, and we didn't predict. I don't think really a lot of people predicted the Bengals even getting in it, and they did. So these are kind of a tale of two teams that really had some magic this year that they shouldn't have. Joe Burrow, I said on here last week, I felt like he should be in the MVP talks. Derek Carr as well. I know a lot of people look at his like touchdown interception ratio and 23 touchdowns, 14 picks. That's not a recipe for an MVP, but what he had to overcome, the passing yards that he had, and sometimes when you're in the red zone, you run it, so that can be a factor. Just saying. And then when you have another option, a mobile quarterback that you kind of throw in every now and then with a wildcat, with Marcus Mariota, you can also drum up some plays for him. So, Derek Carr really had to throw his touchdowns outside of the red zone, and you don't get too many of those. But with everything he had to overcome, I think he should absolutely be in MVP talks. I don't think he should win it, but I do think he should be at least in the conversation. The Raiders defense has really stepped up, and I know everyone wants to keep focusing on they gave up all these fourth down plays. Listen, they were on the field for 88 plays. 88. The defense was on the field for 88 plays. That is almost unheard of in this game in the NFL. Like, you don't see that. And they were. And there was a lot of penalties going on. It was just the defense was on the field for so long in that fourth quarter. Like, of course, they're going to give up some plays. Now, they did good first through third down, but in the fourth down, they just kind of got a little lax. Like, oh, we don't really have to give up. We can give a little bit of space. And they gave up too much space. Now, that kind of goes to show you a little bit how young this defense is, and they are. Divine Diablo, who is a rookie, he's done really well, and he looks like he's going to be starting again this week. He's still learning. Trayvon Morig, our rookie safety, he's still learning, but he's been actually really good this year. Casey Hayward, man, where would we be without this guy, man? Like, he has been such a solid cornerback. I couldn't have been more happy for him when he picked off Justin Herbert. I thought that was so awesome. Faison, who was also a former Charger, he was a practice squad at the beginning of the year. We had so many injuries, the whole Arnett thing, Mullen being out. He really stepped up and really just made a solid job. And then Nate Hobbs came out of nowhere. He's also a rookie. And I know you and we were like, why the heck did we draft Nate Hobbs? Now we see. Now we understand why, because he's been really solid as well. And then Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue, just phenomenal this year. Phenomenal. Max Crosby getting a second team All-Pro selection. So congratulations to him. Well deserved. I forgot who the first team was, but like I saw a lot of Raider fans like he should have been first team. And I was like, I don't know. If you look at the list of the first team pass rushers, they had a really good year. So it's kind of hard to put him over them, but he was really good. He deserved first or second team. I really don't care. I'm just glad that he got that recognition. So congratulations to him. And also Daniel Carlson got second team. AJ Cole got first team. So congratulations to him. Number one punter and number two kicker, I guess. So, our special teams is solid.
Always is. Only the special teams is.
We used to have Shane Leckler and Sebastian Janikowski. Now we have Daniel Carlson and AJ Cole. Love it. But yeah, man, I mean, this is going to be an interesting game because, like I had said earlier in this podcast, the Bengals, out of all the teams in the playoffs, they have the worst offensive line. I don't even think it's debatable. This is a really bad offensive line. Joe Burrow has been hit so many times. Now, it's helped that Joe Mixon's actually had a pretty good year, so you kind of don't really notice it. And Joe Burrow has, thrown a lot of touchdowns, but it helps when you have a guy like Jamar Chase, like a T. Higgins, like a Tyler Boyd, who can literally go anywhere and catch the football. And then Mixon can get thrown into the pass game as well. So this is a very talented Bengals team, and I think a lot of people are picking the Bengals because of their offense. But honestly, the Bengals defense isn't that great. When the Raiders saw the Bengals earlier this year, we still hadn't gotten that team chemistry. And I feel like the last 4 weeks, we've grown on our team chemistry. We've grown on, like, after that Chargers game, I really feel like the Raiders really looked at their team and go, we can do this. We deserve to be here. And I feel like a lot of people were looking at the Raiders. Oh, they got lucky, whatever. Say what you will. To win 4 straight games in the NFL is freaking ridiculous. It doesn't happen often. Okay. Whether you think so or not, it doesn't. For a 4-game win streak is hard enough. A 2-game win streak is hard enough. Okay. These NFL teams have the best of the best players on their team. So you have to be on top of your game. I know everyone wants to throw out, oh, look at the quarterbacks that they faced. Look at the teams that they faced the last 4 weeks. To win 4 games in the NFL is hard. It's hard. And that's all you need to know. It's hard. And so them winning 4 games at the end of the year, when all a few of the teams that we had faced were in a playoff hunt, and we are too, and we win those games, we deserve to be here. This is not going to be like I think there is a chance that the Bengals can blow us out. I don't think it will. I think there is a chance because we are in a short week. We had the last game. It was an emotional game. It was an intense game. The Bengals basically sat most of their starters the last week. But that could also mean that the Bengals are going to come off a little slow, a little sluggish, and the Raiders can take advantage of that and make it a game real quick. So it'll be interesting. Cody, I mean, what are your thoughts on this game?
So one of the things I'm a little concerned with for the Raiders is obviously they, as it's common knowledge, they do play in Vegas. They play inside. In Cincinnati, it's going to be freezing and potential snowing come Saturday on game day. So, we got to have the weather elements, and then it becomes who takes care of the ball better. Who do you trust in the run game? Do you trust Mixon carrying the ball, or do you trust Jacobs? Jacobs has been injured, but he can turn the ball over sometimes. And Mixon at times can be really, careless with the football as well. But, you have Sam, I think his name is Pirine. That's behind
Samaje Pirine,
who's behind Mixon, who doesn't fumble very often, and he's a bigger back. So that's a lot harder for a guy to bring down in a cold weather game. And where we have Peyton Barber, who takes care of the football, but is he in between the tackles like he used to be in Dallas? Probably not as much anymore now that he's a little bit older. But, I definitely see the Raiders are going to have to grind this one out. I got to be honest. I'm not trying to say that we will win this game. I don't want to make it sound like I have every faith in the world that we will, because chances are we won't win this game. I mean, Cincinnati has, 2 players that had each 1,000 yards in receiving, and one of them had 14 touchdowns. The other one had 6. And then their third receiver had nearly 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns all by himself. And, was essentially the number 1 receiver for that team just 2 seasons ago. And now he's considered the third receiver, even though he can probably be a number 1 receiver on the majority of NFL teams. And, I say that because the Raiders have Hunter Renfrow, who broke the single season record for receptions and I believe it was touchdown. No, it wasn't touchdowns, just receptions for the Raiders. Yeah. And really, that's pretty much it. Darren Waller didn't really get acclimated in the game with the Chargers, so we got to find a way to get him the ball. Our defense is going to be something that's pivotal with that poor Bengals offensive line. We've got to find a way to get Crosby and Ngakoue and any other pressure we can to Burrow, so that way we can get him to turn the ball over. And that'll be really tough because we've never seen Burrow in the playoffs, but we've also never seen Carr in the playoffs. So we'll see how each of them rise to the occasion. I think it'll be a lot closer than it was last game, but even in the last time we faced him, the score showed that it was a blowout, but really it was a lot closer. It just slipped away towards the end and we just couldn't catch up. So we'll see how the Raiders do. They've got an uphill battle with an emotional week, kind of coming off of a shorter week, going on the road. But I mean, like what you said last week that I'll echo is, even if we didn't make the playoffs, this was a win for us in this season. Just morally and emotionally, it was a win to be able to go through all the adversity and to be on top in our way to where where we're in the position we are now. And now we beat the Chargers. We're in the playoffs. And again, it's a win from here on out just because of what we went through and, what the season means. So unfortunately, if I had to give a prediction, I'm going to probably say that the Bengals probably do squeak one out against us. It's going to be a close loss, but I think that our magic is going to run out. But I don't think that the Raiders will go quietly into that good night. And I think that they'll play them hard. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a close game because of the weather and it turned into more of a ground and pound game. And if that's the case, I really like the Raiders' chances because of our offensive line. I like their offensive line slightly better than the Bengals just because of our coaching. But, again, they have a lot more offensive weapons. So, it just takes one junk play to get some yardage and change field position. And our defense just has to make sure that we don't let any big plays get behind us and we stand strong, bend but don't break. And, it's going to be a team effort. We can't put it on one person's back. It's going to be the whole team and all three phases of the game. So
one thing I will say, I'm going to pick the Raiders in this, and you can call me crazy and that's fine. Maybe it's just recency bias and I'm okay with that. We don't know how healthy Joe Burrow is. I know he was a full participant at practice, but that doesn't mean that he's fully healthy. It just means that they practice him fully no matter what. He looked like he got hurt the last drive that he had in the regular season. So we'll see how that goes for him. And then also, I think if this game is cold, exactly what you were saying is if it's ground and pound, I think the Raiders really have a good chance because not only is, Josh Jacobs, going to benefit from that, but I think Jalen Richard, especially last week, really showed that, hey, he might be the second running back now. Peyton Barber might be taking that third spot. And the other thing is our draft pick, Alex Leatherwood. He's been a lot better. And where did he come from? He came from Alabama. And what does Alabama do better than most schools? They run the football. They produce all these running backs. What was Alex Leatherwood probably really good at? Oh, that's right. It was run blocking. And you've seen the more that they've incorporated the run game, the better the Raiders have looked. And I think that is it. It helps Alex Leatherwood, first of all, not only doing the run blocking, but I think now it makes him feel more confident in the pass protection. Colton Miller has been absolutely solid. Everyone forgets we were supposed to have Richie Incognito right next to Miller. He's been out all year. And, John Simpson has done a really good job over there, who came from Clemson, who they know how to pass. They knew how to run. So he's getting better. Andre James has been actually really good as the center. And then you had, Denzel Good who had a couple of injuries, but I think he's going to be coming back, or he's still out. I'm not quite remembering that, but the offensive line is getting healthier and they're getting more confident, and I think that's a huge thing right now that the Raiders need. So I really am. And honestly, this is what I look at. Most people would pick Joe Burrow as the better quarterback. I'm going to pick Derek Carr. Why? Because I think not only has his leadership shown, but his game management is better than Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow still will throw it wherever. And I think in the playoffs, you really can't do that. I know we're looking at the Raiders going, their secondary isn't that great, but I think they're actually better than what a lot of people think. And I just feel like because of everyone seeing all the fourth downs that the Chargers were converting, I feel like a lot of people are like, well, yeah, I mean, the Raiders are going to give up so many. But I really think the Raiders are a lot smarter than what everyone's thinking. Listen, they're going to probably double Jamar Chase. They're not going to let Jamar Chase destroy them like the Chiefs let him do. They're not going to let that happen. I mean, they would be stupid too. Okay. T. Higgins, if they're going to double Jamar Chase, they're probably going to put Hayward on Higgins. So Higgins is still a young receiver. Yeah, he might be a little more athletic, but Hayward is going to know how to deal with him. Then you have Tyler Boyd. That's going to be the outlier. Can Nate Hobbs really pick it up, or is he going to be kind of struggling? So that's going to be interesting to see. I would probably put Boyd as the victor on that one. And then our defensive line is better than the Bengals offensive line. I'm saying it now. And Carr's going to have more time than Joe Burrow will. And so to me, overall, I think the Raiders are going to win this. I think the Raiders have a slightly better defense than the Bengals in this instance because the defensive line is better than their offensive line. And so for me, I always look at quarterback, defense, head coach. I think Carr wins this one. I think the Raiders defense wins this one. And I would give it to Zach Taylor just because he's had a little bit more head coaching experience than Rich Bisaccia. And 2 out of 1 goes to the Raiders. So I'm picking the Raiders.